Well, we have this year, obviously, we're a semifinal game, a CFP semifinal game. We just got our matchup today with Texas and Washington. We're really excited about that. We're already seeing the phones are ringing, a lot of inquiries about tickets. We've heard from hotels in the community already that the demand is high on the first day, which is what you want to see. So it all bodes well, and we think that the game's going to have a significant economic impact for the city and state.
Absolutely. And speaking in terms of that economic impact, people are already asking about hotels, tickets. Tell me, what does that mean to bring such a big event to the city of New Orleans?
Well, we're proud of what a semifinal game and what the Sugar Bowl annually does. We expect there to be north of a $200 million economic impact for the city and the state this year. That includes more than $20 million in direct tax revenue. So it ought to be a special time over New Year's.
The matchup. Obviously, I think it looked for a long time like, Georgia keeps winning. Georgia's going to end up here as a 1 seed, and then curveball comes last night in the form of Alabama, and so you end up with something a little different than maybe everybody projected for a while.
Every weekend you go in thinking you know something and you find out you don't. Simple as that. They got to play the games, and the outcome, is what it is, and we wound up with a great matchup. It wasn't what we were expecting, honestly, but it's one that we're really excited about. First time we've ever hosted a Pac-12 team in Washington. The Bowl's been around 90 years, and we've never once hosted a Pac-12 team, so we have the opportunity to do that this year. We got both the coaches are making their first appearances and have done really well in their positions. We're excited about the star power that the game will provide with both quarterbacks. Quinn Ewers at Texas, and of course Michael Penix at Washington is a Heisman Trophy candidate right now, and so there's a lot to be excited about going forward over the next month.
In terms of semifinal versus just a regular SEC versus Big 12 matchup, what changes from your end as we go between now and January 1st?
Well, certainly from the school level, the intensity ramps up. It becomes almost more like a business trip. We're still able to entertain the staff and the administration and do events in the community. But the football team is going to be focused on winning a game so that they can play for the national championship, a week later in Houston. So we'll try to accommodate everybody, the fun side of things as well as the serious football side of things. Going forward, it should be fun. There are a lot more eyes on it. We do more than 20 million television viewers every time we have a semifinal game, so that's great publicity and advertising for the city, and we're proud to be able to provide the stage for that.
It's kind of an end of an era in terms of what the arrangement has been for the last 10 years as you get ready to go to a 12-team bracket, and ideally you'll be either a semifinal or a quarterfinal every year. After that, what have you thought about what has happened over the last decade and how you get ready after this game to transition to something a little different?
Well, certainly proud to have been a part of the playoff as it began over the last decade. We had the opportunity to host, this will be our 4th semifinal game that we've hosted. Also had the opportunity to host a national championship game in 2020. So a lot of high points, in the first 10 years. Going forward, we're excited about the expanded playoff because we're going to matter every year. We've been every third year where the game really draws the national interest. Now we're going to have a game that means something. There's something on the line every year going forward, and that's something that I think will bode well not only for the Sugar Bowl but for the city and the state as well.
Last year you had to play an early game on New Year's Eve. Now you're back to your traditional New Year's night spot. How important is that from both the TV audience as well as just the tradition of what this game has done for so long?
I don't want to overstate it, but order has been restored. We're happy to be back on January 1st and playing in prime time. We do a lot better television-wise during that time, and it's just our traditional slot, something that the Bowl's been doing for decades now, and it's a special time, not just for here, but you talk to people around the country. They tune in, they watch the Sugar Bowl. It's part of their traditions over New Year's Day, and we're proud to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking in terms of that tradition, coming back on New Year's Eve, tell me, how big is that for the city? Not only do we have our New Year's Eve events that are already taking place here in the city, but now we have the Sugar Bowl, happening. Tell me, why is that so significant to the city, hotels, local businesses?
Well, historically, the bowl was started back in the 30s for the purpose of driving tourism during a slow period. And, while tourism has picked up some, it's still a slower time than we're used to for the rest of the year. So we're doing our part during the holiday season to try to bring people to the city. We do a New Year's Eve parade in the afternoon that includes the teams and the marching bands from the two schools. A lot of fun with the people in from out of town. And all it does is creates a really special vibe around the city. And it's one that gets showcased by ESPN and other national networks on an annual basis. And again, something that the Sugar Bowl Committee is quite proud of.
Yeah, in Texas, that's right around the corner, so I'm sure you all are expecting a lot of people in the city. Tell me about that and about how many people you're expecting to come and celebrate.
We have recent experience with Texas, and they came gangbusters a few years back when they played Georgia, and we expect now, because this is Texas' first appearance in a CFP semifinal game, in a playoff game. So they're excited. They're ready to come. They're going to come in big numbers, and the early indications are it's really going to be a special week.